New York voters are heading to the polls for key primary races across the state. The races today come after a court struck down the redistricting map drawn by New York Democrats for gerrymandering earlier this year. The court-drawn map is leading to veteran incumbents facing each other in primaries and some more competitive races. For more on this, we are joined by former New York Congressman Steve Israel. He is also the former chairman of the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee. Thanks so much, Congressman, for being with us.
Nicole, thanks for having me on.
I just want to ask you about this whole redistricting situation. Certainly angered a lot of people on all sides. As you know, Democrats more or less had an advantage until a court struck down their map for gerrymandering, and then we saw this special master brought in to redraw the lines. I mean, ultimately, are Democrats to blame for this redistricting situation?
Well, look, both parties try and exploit whatever advantage they have to produce maps that will favor incumbents of those parties. When I was the chairman of the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, I did it. The Republican chair of the campaign committee does it. This is why we need to just end partisanship in drawing lines. What happened in New York really was extraordinary, however. We had maps that we Democrats thought would be a slam dunk. And as a result of the court decision, now Democrats are just getting slammed by that map. Two popular incumbents pitted against one another in Manhattan. One popular incumbent having to have moved from Westchester to Brooklyn. The chairman of the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee facing a primary in his district. So it has been very eventful in New York politics.
I mean, how do you fix this going forward?
Well, today, as you know, will be the fix. After months of uncertainty, we have these tightly fought primaries, and that will at least settle, the matter of who's running for Congress, who has the advantage of incumbency. But I have to say, long term, and I say this as somebody who chaired the political committee for the Democrats, the partisan use of redistricting, letting politicians decide who their constituents will be, rather than having constituents decide who their elected officials will be, does a disservice to democracy. It's a bad idea. And fundamentally, what we need is reform that draws districts not based on partisan motive, but just based on the number of people who live in that district. That would be one of the most important things we can do to restore and rebuild democracy in this country and take politics and partisanship out of Congress.
As you mentioned, you're a former chairman. The current chairman, Sean Patrick Maloney, made this decision to run in the newly redrawn 17th district, which more or less forced the incumbent there, Mondaire Jones, to either primary him or run in a different district. Do you think Maloney handled that situation in the best way?
Politics is about survival. It is about trying to apply your principles and ideologies to fix problems, but the only way you can do that is to get reelected. And so I'm not surprised by what Sean Patrick Maloney did, and nor am I surprised by what Congressman Jones did. He decided that he could compete more effectively in a different district, moved to Brooklyn. Turns out that primary is probably closer than anybody originally anticipated, and we will know shortly, who has won the primary that Sean Patrick Maloney finds himself in the excerpts of New York, north of New York City, and who wins the primary in Brooklyn that Congressman Mondaire Jones now finds himself in.
Yeah, and as you referenced, New York Congressman Jerry Nadler is facing Congresswoman Carolyn Maloney in a rare incumbent versus incumbent primary. I'm sure you know both of these individuals very well. How difficult is this one for you to watch?
This is a clash of the progressive titans, Congressman Nadler, Congresswoman Maloney, both senior members of the New York delegation, both committee chairs, both bring seniority and influence and clout for New York to Washington, D.C., and to watch this fight, and it has grown quite bitter, actually, it's hard to watch. It's like, having two favorite sports teams. Well, right now the Mets are playing the Yankees. This is the political equivalent.
And speaking, I guess, of what will likely be the World Series in terms of the general election coming up this November, how do you see Democrats' chances in terms of potentially holding on to Congress?
Look, the past several weeks has seen an improved environment for Democrats. The Roe versus Wade decision by the Supreme Court has affected the dynamic. The passage of the Inflation Reduction Act has improved the dynamic. The question is this, Nicole: is this the eye of the storm? And will those gray clouds and heavy winds come back in October and early November? Or does this represent a more permanent change for the better for Democrats? We're not going to know that until things begin to crystallize with independent voters and base voters. And that usually happens in the middle of October in a midterm election.
All right. Former Congressman Steve Israel, thank you so much for being with us. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Nicole.